What's up? Yo, Black Intellects. Grab a shirt. Look, let me explain something. Let me drop something. I was watching Kanye and I like Kanye. I'm a big Kanye fan. Not everything. I mean, he say some stuff. Me and him, we think in the same manner. I'm older than him, so a lot of stuff he's saying, I've been with when he first came out. Uh, I was trying to tell people about Kanye West. I was trying to let people know, just like I did with the Down South. I remember when nobody, back in the 90s, nobody was feeling Down South. And I was trying to convince people to understand it's how they said stuff, the style in which they dropped their knowledge, it's how they were saying it. And then I understood that there were different slangs and different, I call it nation hip hop language, which is coined by my man James E. Spady. But let me explain something, because y'all know I always talk about James E. Spady because of us being in different ciphers talking about numerous amounts of things, which is he's a historian. But let me say this. Kanye West, I seen on a thing and he said that, black people are selfish. Black people aren't selfish. As if to say nobody, he was trying to say like, oh, nobody was really doing anything and standing up. And because he said black people, George Bush don't care about black people. That, oh my God, that's the most incredible thing somebody ever said it. What I mean? People said, not George Bush, but proved they didn't just talk. That's just talk to me. Anybody could say a lot of incredible things. Well, the first thing to do is to say it. So I don't want people to think that uh, because you said something that doesn't have any validity or it's not as important. Because of course, the words that you speak are very important. You got to watch the things you say. That's what makes Trump so. Uh, 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 that's what makes people, well, I'm gonna say people that are really sound and really understand the in depth of speaking and saying certain things out your mouth, and why people can be so angry with him because he says anything, and the way you were at first changes the dynamic of how you are once you start speaking anything because you want a certain result out of things. If you dig what I'm saying, without me getting too in depth into um, that political thought process of a human being like a Trump. When Kanye said that uh, people are selfish, black people are selfish, he said it on Drink Champs. Like I said, I like Kanye, but I have to correct him because a lot of people have this notion that black people in America, oh, they always talking about what we don't do. Black people don't know how to do this and we don't do this. Even the pro-black people that speaks on black people, and I say black, I know people say, oh, say human beings or melanin, we have melanin or whatever. I don't want to take away from the dynamics. So for this video and for the simplistic intellectual thought process of most people, not even most people, some people, I'm going to say black. Black meaning us, me, anybody that looks like me, my color skin to other tones of skin colors to dark, light, darker, lighter, brown, mahogany, semi light brown, whoever. You black, you came up in America. In America specifically, because um, we were people that didn't get, we were the ones that got caught, our ancestors. And I know people can argue the fact that, I want to get to the point, I got to say these things because you got to get to the what has the validity of what I'm saying. I know people say, oh, we've been here before. Just hear me out. Black people, right? Black people are not selfish. A lot of black people are not selfish. And people had this notion like, oh, black people ain't do this or we're selfish. I'm only going to say a few names because I'm going to make this point. I'm not saying all, And I'm not saying that these people were the only ones, but I'm picking out these specific people because the work that they put in is different from someone just being a person who knows how to do speeches. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The reason I'm saying him, not for the Islam's point of view, not to put the nation against Sunni, not to do that, and not to say that others didn't do. But the reason why in America, black people are following all black, let's say, I'm going to just say religions or understandings, from Islam to Nuwapians to 5%ers to Israelites to people who claim that they want to be spiritual, to people who want to be economically empowered now. That talk comes from the model that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad set forth. Okay? This is not me saying, oh, the nation is better and this and that. No. This had nothing to do with Farrakhan. This has nothing to do with Farrakhan versus anyone else. Malcolm X was a great speaker. He was. But what did he speak about? He spoke about the blueprint of Elijah Muhammad. Why do I say Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Because of what he did. What did he do? He set the model for how to have black economic structure, black economic wealthy and healthy structure. He set that precedent, and all the rest follow. People say, oh, Marcus Garvey. Oh, yes, of course. Marcus Garvey is one too, because that's where anyway, yes, of course. Juba Ali, people say that. But let me tell you why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is. I'm going to say it again. He didn't speak it. He didn't just give great speeches. That's what he got Malcolm for. To follow a blueprint for black economic structure and healthy wealth. That is the model y'all following today. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's it. Fact. It's a fact. I don't care how you spin it. I don't care what you say, but that model that we follow as black economic and everybody doing their own thing and learning their own business, it didn't come from the people you see on YouTube. It didn't come from the people that were speeches and doing speeches. Martin Luther King was great, but he followed the NAACP. W.D. Boyce was great, but he followed the NAACP, which is ran by it was more a Euro structured Americana Eurocentric plan, blueprint to sue and force people to have this and that, which is fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. But the blueprint in which we run now and operate is not a selfish act in no part, because it was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad coming from the grit and say, this is how we have to structure. He developed distribution. He developed retail, wholesale, and understanding to own your own political movement, right? Not the political politics that we understand, Democrat, Republican. No, within your own political sculpture and structure and culture. That's what Elijah Muhammad do. Understand that. You have to study this. You can't just go off of speeches and what. You have to understand the dynamics of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad set up. Then now it's good to have all these different Israelites and Nuwapians and 5% nations and black spiritual people who wants economic structure. With that, where did he get those understandings from? It's another name I'm going to throw out to you. William Monroe Trotter. That's the structure that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad saw. William Monroe Trotter ran The Guardian, which is a newspaper back in the day before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he would organize, people were lynching. He was an abolitionist, but he had his own paper making millions back then. This is before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And his peers were Booker T. Washington and W. Du Bois. They were poor cats. They were poor dudes that were very intellectual, and then they started rising in the ranks, and they went to work for the NAACP, and then of course Booker T. Washington. I'm giving you the overall. Wound up setting up one of the baddest schools, which is Tuskegee, and which is cool. But he followed a protocol where, hey, we're going to drop our buckets down, shut up, and just do our thing, which is fine too. It's nothing wrong with none of that. But William Monroe Trotter went, no, I'm an elite. He was a real light-skinned dude, but he was the actual elite. None of them were rich. Booker T. Washington and W. Du Bois were poor dudes. They were poor dudes learning and whatever. And they wanted to follow the protocol, follow the Americana way. And we're going to just do what this NAACP says, and we're going to follow, which is fine. That's good because a lot got done. But William Monroe Trotter said, no, I'm going to put my paper and put what I want in the paper, and I'm going to stop these lynchings. He went to France, got with their political people over there in France, and got with their humanitarians and people, and then he brought back a law, and then he brought back the structure that he needed to do to stop these lynchings, and he would have these huge parades. He was a doer, not selfish. Getting back to Kanye. This is not a selfish act. Those are just two people I named and two structures that not just what they said. It's the methodological structure that they developed to help Black people understand how to move economically, how to move politically, and how to move things in a which way you don't want another person to have total control over your economic, over your body, over your soul, over your intellectual stands. They did that not by being selfish, by being selfless. It was so selfless that Monroe Trotter wound up killing himself later because he went, y'all don't get it. They got it later because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad loved William Monroe Trotter, and that was one of the structures he followed when he started doing the things that he did. You see how deep we are? And this is not just them. I can go on and on. I didn't even get into Schoolie D and how he structured the whole independent in hip-hop. Y'all don't even know how deep that man is. So deep, and I'm going to get into that later. But you understand why you can't just be saying what we didn't do. Oh, we didn't do. And you getting in these arguments of Malcolm versus Elijah Muhammad. Two different structures of understanding. That man put him on. And this is not this Malcolm or Elijah Muhammad versus Malcolm. It's not that. I'm not on that type of pro-Black. My thing is much more in depth of really understanding the methodological and trueness of what really happened. And when you really get those structures, it's not about, oh, he did this. Elijah Muhammad got him killed. I'm not talking about that. That happened late. I'm talking about how this thing was structured and what are we following versus how you're feeling about one side did one thing and the other side. Get rid of that for a minute and let's go to a scholarly, intellectual study. Not just, oh, he said this. You can go on days of what people said, but what was done is two different things. Peace.